Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you realize that love is not luck, it's not chance, it's not accident, it is divine design. The same God who set the stars in the heavens has already written the chapter of your story where your soulmate steps in. You may have cried through seasons of loneliness. You may have questioned why doors closed. You may have wondered if God forgot about you. But I came to tell you, He has been preparing someone who will not just meet your hand, but match your destiny. And when God makes the introduction, it will not be ordinary. It will be undeniable, unstoppable, and unforgettable. And when God begins to orchestrate the steps of your life, He does it with a precision that is beyond human comprehension. Every detail, every detour, every delay, every disappointment has been divinely calculated. Nothing is random when you walk with God. You may not always understand the twists and the turns, but you must know that they are all part of the master plan. And one of the most extraordinary parts of that plan is how God introduces you to the person who was designed to walk with you, the one who was created to complement you, to strengthen you, and to journey with you through the seasons of life. And you see, the world wants you to believe that love is accidental, that it is purely based on luck, that it's all about being at the right place at the right time. But when God is the author of your story, nothing about it is accidental. What looks like coincidence to man is actually providence to God. He knows when you are ready. He knows when your character has been refined. He knows when your faith has been tested. He knows when your heart is finally healed enough to love without baggage. And it is in those divine moments when your soul has been positioned that He begins to reveal the person He has chosen to be by your side. And some times before God introduces you to your soulmate, He allows you to go through seasons of isolation. You wonder why doors are closing, why relationships don't work out, why the people you thought would be forever turn out to be temporary. It is not punishment, it is preparation. God is cutting away what cannot carry you into the future. He is removing attachments that would poison your destiny. He is ensuring that when you meet the one He has ordained, you will not still be tied to the residue of what should have been left behind. That's why you can't cry over every goodbye. Some goodbyes are not losses. They are divine setups for the greater hello that is coming your way. And when God begins to introduce you to your soulmate, it doesn't always look like what you imagined. They may not come wrapped in the package you expected. They may not check off every box on your list, but they will fit every corner of your soul, because God knows what you need better than you know what you want. You thought you needed someone who looks a certain way, who talks a certain way, who comes from a certain background. But God knows you need someone who can pray you through the storm, someone who can hold you when life feels heavy, someone who can sharpen you, challenge you, and push you into your purpose. And let me tell you something, the introduction God orchestrates is not always loud. Sometimes it is subtle. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it is in the ordinary moments that you least expect. You may be going about your daily routine, and suddenly the person who will shift the course of your life steps into your world, and you may not even realize it at first. But what sets it apart is the peace that comes with it. God will never introduce confusion when He introduces covenant. The peace of God will guard your heart and give you the confirmation that you are standing in front of someone who was not just placed in your path by accident, but by divine appointment. And you see, when God does the introducing, it is more than chemistry, it is more than attraction. It is more than butterflies. It is destiny. It is purpose colliding with purpose. It is vision meeting vision. It is calling recognizing calling. Because marriage is not just about love. It is about assignment. Who you marry has the power to propel you into your destiny or derail you from it. And God is too intentional about your life to let you connect to someone who cannot carry the weight of your calling. That's why some people had to walk away. That's why some relationships had to fail, because what God is doing in your life is too great to be compromised by being tied to the wrong person. And when he introduces you to your soulmate, you will notice that things start aligning. Doors begin to open. Ideas begin to flow. Strength begins to rise, because God does not just bring you someone to make you happy. He brings you someone to make you whole, someone who activates the best version of you, someone who multiplies what you already carry. That's why the scripture says 2 are better than 1, for they have a good reward for their labor. The introduction is not about romance alone, it's about divine reinforcement. But you must be careful, because the enemy will try to send counterfeits before the real thing arrives. Counterfeits will look good, sound good, even feel good, but they will drain you instead of build you. They will distract you instead of align with you. They will bring confusion instead of peace. And this is why discernment is so important. You cannot lean on your own understanding. You must let the Spirit of God lead you, because only God knows the heart. Only God knows what's hidden behind the smile, the charm, the charisma. If you trust him, he will expose the counterfeit and protect you from wasting years with what was never meant to be. And sometimes the introduction God orchestrates comes after a season of waiting that feels unbearable. You look around and see others getting married, others posting their celebrations, others announcing their engagements, and you wonder, God, when is it my turn? But what you must understand is that divine timing is never delayed. Just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it won't happen. The waiting is not wasted. While you are waiting, God is working. He is preparing you. He is preparing them. He is aligning circumstances. He is orchestrating meetings. He is moving pieces in the unseen realm so that when it happens, it will be undeniable that it was his hand. And then when that moment comes, when God finally allows your paths to cross, you will look back over the years of pain, the years of loneliness, the years of longing, and you will realize that every tear was worth it. Every delay was worth it. Every closed door was worth it. Because what God is bringing into your life is not just another relationship. It is a covenant. It is a partnership. It is a destiny connection. And the moment you recognize it, gratitude will overflow from your heart, because you will see that the God who holds the stars in place also held your heart until it was safe to give it away. And then maybe you are listening right now and you feel like you've missed it, like it's too late, like your mistakes disqualified you from that kind of love. But let me tell you, nothing can disqualify you from what God has ordained. He redeems time. He restores what was broken. He makes all things new. You are not too old. You are not too damaged. You are not forgotten. If God has spoken it over your life, it shall come to pass. And when he does it, it will happen so swiftly, so beautifully, so powerfully that you will wonder why you ever doubted him in the first place. And because when God introduces you to your soulmate, he is not just giving you a partner. He is showing you a glimpse of his love. He is giving you someone who will mirror his heart toward you, someone who will remind you that you are chosen, that you are seen, that you are valued, someone who will walk with you through the valleys and celebrate with you on the mountaintops. Someone who will love you not just for who you are today, but for who you are becoming in him. Because when God introduces you to your soulmate, he is not just giving you a partner. He is showing you a glimpse of his love. He is giving you someone who will mirror his heart toward you. Someone who will remind you that you are chosen, that you are seen, that you are valued. Someone who will walk with you through the valleys and celebrate with you on the mountaintops. Someone who will love you not just for who you are today, but for who you are becoming in him. And sometimes that introduction begins long before you ever meet them face to face. God will plant desires in your heart, stir visions in your spirit, whisper promises to your soul, all to prepare you for what is to come. You may not see their face yet, but he begins shaping your character so that when the day of meeting comes, you will be ready. That's why you feel pulled to grow, to heal, to let go of bitterness, to walk in forgiveness. It is not only for your own freedom, it is also because God is preparing you for the one who will share life with you. He does not want you to carry unresolved wounds into a sacred covenant. He wants you whole so that when you love from a place of purity and strength, not from brokenness. And there are seasons where God keeps you hidden from distractions, hidden from people who could misuse you, hidden from opportunities that would only drain you, hidden until the right moment. And while you are hidden, he is shaping your destiny, chiseling your edges, building your foundation, because when the time comes to be revealed to the person he has ordained, you will not be half built, you will be whole. You will not be desperate, you will be secure. You will not be chased in validation. You will already know who you are in him. And that confidence, that rootedness, that security is what allows you to stand beside the person he has chosen without fear of losing yourself. And God's introductions often happen at the intersection of obedience and timing. It is not enough just to want it. You must be walking in his will. Sometimes you wonder why you feel compelled to take a job in a city you never imagined living in, or why you felt led to join a ministry you weren't sure about, or why you couldn't shake the feeling to step out of your comfort zone. What you don't realize is that your obedience to God's voice is positioning you for a divine encounter, because the same way he is leading you, he is also leading them. And at just the right time, your paths intersect, not because you forced it, but because heaven ordained it. And when you finally meet, it may feel like recognition, like your soul is meeting someone it somehow always knew. That is the mystery of divine connections. The world calls it chemistry, but it's deeper than that. It is the resonance of two spirits that were designed to walk together. You may not be able to explain it, but you will know it. It is the kind of knowing that does not come from logic or lists. It comes from peace. Peace that says, I don't have to perform to be loved here. Peace that says, I am safe to be vulnerable here. Peace that says, this connection is not just about me, it's about the assignment God has placed on both of our lives. But before you get there, you have to trust the process. God often reveals your soulmate in stages. Just like he reveals purpose in steps, he reveals people in layers. At first, you may see them as just a friend, just a co-worker, just an acquaintance. But over time, as he peels back the layers, you begin to see the divine fingerprints on the connection. That's why I cannot dismiss small beginnings. What looks insignificant may be the seed of something extraordinary. Don't despise the simple moments, the casual conversations, the ordinary encounters Because within them could be the introduction that changes the trajectory of your life. And while you wait, guard your heart. The enemy will try to sow impatience. He will whisper that you are being overlooked, that God has forgotten you, that maybe you're meant to settle for less. But impatience can cost you destiny. If you step into relationships prematurely, you may entangle yourself with people who cannot handle the weight of who you are becoming. And then you end up carrying baggage that delays what God wanted to release. But if you can wait, if you can trust, if you can believe, even when it feels like nothing is happening, God will reward your faith. He will not withhold any good thing from those who walk uprightly. And when the introduction finally happens, it may not always be convenient. It may challenge your plans, stretch your comfort zone, or force you to grow in ways you didn't anticipate. But that's the beauty of it. God doesn't just give you someone to make life easier. He gives you someone to make life fuller. They will call out parts of you that you didn't even know were there. They will see potential in you that you overlooked. They will challenge your excuses and push you toward your purpose. And though it may feel uncomfortable at times, it will also feel right. Because the stretching is not breaking you, it is enlarging you to carry the future that belongs to both of you. And understand this, your soulmate is not just someone to walk beside you in joy, but someone to stand with you in battle. Life will bring storms. Life will bring tests. Life will bring seasons where your faith feels shaken. And in those moments, you need someone who knows how to pray when you can't find the words, someone who can lift you when your knees are buckling, someone who can believe for you when doubt tries to drown you. This is why God is so intentional about the introduction. He knows what storms are ahead. He knows what valleys you must walk through. And he knows the kind of person you need by your side to make it through. And when it happens, it will be undeniable. The timing will make sense. The waiting will make sense. Even the heartbreaks of the past will make sense. You will realize that every door that closed was a door that needed to close. Every no was a divine redirection to the greater yes. Every delay was God's way of ensuring that you were ready for the blessing he was about to release. And when that blessing stands in front of you, you won't be thinking about how long it took. You'll be thanking God that he did not let you settle for less. And what you must remember is that God is a covenant-keeping God. He doesn't just introduce people for temporary satisfaction. He introduces them for eternal significance. And when he brings someone into your life with his hand on it, that connection is meant to produce fruit. Fruit in your character, fruit in your faith, fruit in your purpose, fruit in the legacy you will leave behind. Because what he joins together, he joins for impact, not just intimacy. It is bigger than you. It is about his kingdom, his glory, his plan unfolding through your partnership. And so even when it feels delayed, don't stop believing. Even when you feel alone, don't stop trusting. Even when you've been disappointed, don't stop hoping. Because the same God who spoke worlds into existence is the same God who is aligning your life. And when he says it is time, no force on earth or in hell can stop the introduction he has ordained. You may not know when, you may not know how, but you can be confident in this. He is faithful, he is wise, he is strategic, and he is preparing a love story that will reflect his glory in ways you cannot even imagine. So even when it feels delayed, don't stop believing it. Even when you feel alone, don't stop trusting. Even when you've been disappointed, don't stop hoping. Because the same God who spoke worlds into existence is the same God who is aligning your life. And when he says it is time, no force on earth or in hell can stop the introduction he has ordained. You may not know when, you may not know how, but you can be confident in this. He is faithful, he is wise, he is strategic, and he is preparing a love story that will reflect his glory in ways you cannot even imagine. And there is something powerful about the way God works in silence. You think nothing is happening because you don't see movement, but beneath the surface, he is arranging details, aligning schedules, shifting hearts, and preparing atmospheres. Just because you cannot see the orchestration doesn't mean it is not taking place. Just because your natural eyes don't behold it yet doesn't mean your spiritual promise has vanished. The silence of God is not the absence of God. It is the sound of him working behind the curtain of your life. And while you are waiting, while you are praying, while you are holding on to hope, he is putting everything in place so that at the appointed time, your paths will cross in a way that leaves no doubt in your spirit that this is the one he has chosen. And often the wait feels unbearable because your heart longs for companionship, your soul craves connection, and your spirit desires partnership. But what you must remember is that premature exposure can destroy what God intends to last. If you meet too soon, if you enter too quickly, if you rush before maturity, you can damage the very thing you've been waiting for. That's why God protects the timing. He's not only preparing them, he's preparing you. He's teaching you how to stand on your own 2 feet, how to be secure in your identity, how to trust him fully before trusting another. Because when you walk into covenant, you don't want to bring dependency. You want to bring wholeness, and the wholeness comes from God first. And isn't it amazing how God often uses seasons of wilderness to prepare us for seasons of promise? Before you see your soulmate, he may allow you to walk through deserts of loneliness, not to punish you, but to prove himself faithful. He teaches you that even without a partner, you are not alone. He shows you that his presence is enough to sustain you. He fills your nights with his comfort and your mornings with his mercy, so that when the introduction comes, you don't idolize the person, you appreciate them as a gift while keeping your ultimate worship fixed on the giver. Because only God can complete you. A person may compliment you, but only God can complete you. And when the introduction finally unfolds, it may happen so naturally that you almost miss the supernatural. That's how God works. He blends heaven's orchestration into earth's normalcy. It may be through a casual encounter, a shared responsibility, a divine redirection. It may be while you're simply living your life, doing what he called you to do, when suddenly your eyes are open to someone who's been positioned for your destiny. And though the moment feels ordinary, the impact will be extraordinary. Because God doesn't need fireworks to reveal his will. He just needs your heart to be attentive to his voice. And then let me tell you, when you stand in front of the one God has prepared, something shifts inside of you. It's not that every insecurity suddenly vanishes or every fear disappears, but there is a deep assurance that says this is different. Not because they are perfect, but because the connection feels purposeful. Not because the journey will be without challenges, but because you sense the grace to endure together. And that assurance is what carries you forward even when life gets heavy. And the beauty of God's introductions is that they are layered with confirmation. He will not leave you guessing. There will be signs in your spirit. There will be alignment in your purpose. There will be peace that settles your doubts. The right one won't pull you away from God. They will push you closer to him. The right one won't demand you sacrifice your calling. They will protect it, nurture it, and even sharpen it. The right one won't leave you drained and depleted. They will add strength to your soul. This is how you know it's God, because everything he gives multiplies. Everything he gives edifies. Everything he gives glorifies him. But you must keep your heart open. Sometimes God sends what you need in a form you didn't expect. The package may not look like your preference, but it will carry his promise. And if you are too fixated on your own list, you may miss the blessing he is trying to hand you. That's why humility is required. That's why surrender is essential. You must lay your expectations at his feet and trust that he knows better than you what will fulfill the deepest longings of your soul. Because what you want is not always what you need, but what he provides will always sustain. And even after the introduction, the journey doesn't end. It begins. Covenant is not built in a day. It is cultivated over time. God may introduce you, but it is your responsibility to steward what he gives you. You must nurture the connection, water it with patience, strengthen it with communication, protect it with prayer. The introduction is divine, but the stewardship is human. You must choose daily to honor the gift God has placed in your life, because when you neglect it, you weaken what he intended to flourish. And yes, there will be challenges. No divine connection exempts you from tests. In fact, sometimes the introduction to your soulmate will also be the introduction to new trials, because the enemy knows the power of two walking in agreement. He will fight to sow division, to stir doubt, to plant suspicion. But that's when you must remember who orchestrated the meeting. If God hate you together, then no weapon formed against you shall prosper. If God aligned your paths, then he will also give you the grace to endure every storm. The battles you face together will only deepen the bond, because adversity reveals the strength of covenant. And sometimes the evidence of God's hand is not in how easy things are, but in how unshakable the connection remains despite pressure. When storms come, when misunderstandings arise, when seasons shift, you will see that what God has joined together cannot be torn apart by external forces. And in those moments, gratitude will rise up in your heart as you realize you are not fighting alone, not walking alone, not believing alone. You are joined by someone God himself positioned to be your partner in life. And though the introduction may feel like the climax, it is really the beginning of a lifelong unfolding. With each year, each season, each challenge, you will discover new dimensions of the gift God gave you. You will see his fingerprints in the timing, his wisdom in the process, his faithfulness in the outcome. And every time you look back, you will understand a little more clearly why you had to wait, why you had to grow, why you had to trust. Because what he has given is not just a person, it is a living testimony of his goodness, his intentionality, his love written into the fabric of your story. And so don't despise the wait. Don't curse the process. Don't let disappointment rob you of hope. God has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked you. He has not abandoned his promise. The same God who formed you in the secret place is the same God who is forming your story in secret. And when the introduction comes, it will not just be about meeting a soulmate. It will be about meeting the fulfillment of a divine promise, the manifestation of a prayer, the evidence that your waiting was not in vain. So don't despise the wait. Don't curse the process. Don't let disappointment rob you of hope. God has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked you. He has not abandoned his promise. The same God who formed you in the secret place is the same God who is forming your story in secret. And when the introduction comes, it will not just be about meeting a soulmate. It will be about meeting the fulfillment of a divine promise, the manifestation of a prayer, the evidence that your waiting was not in vain. And because when God finally unveils what he has been preparing, it will silence every doubt, quiet every fear, and heal every scar left by the wait. You will realize that he was not making you wait to punish you, but to protect you. He was not delaying to deny you, but to develop you. And the day you step into that divine connection, all the nights you cried, all the moments you questioned, all the times you felt overlooked will fade. in comparison to the joy of seeing his faithfulness made visible in front of your eyes. And sometimes God allows you to encounter counterfeits before the real thing, not to break your heart, but to sharpen your discernment. He allows you to experience what doesn't fit, so that when the right fit comes, you will recognize it immediately. The failed relationships, the disappointments, the mismatched connections were all teachers in disguise. They taught you what peace feels like by showing you what confusion feels like. They taught you what covenant looks like by showing you what compromise looks like. They taught you how to value what's real by exposing you to what's temporary. And when you finally meet the one he ordained, you will not waste time questioning, because your spirit will recognize what your experience has prepared you to see. And you must understand, God is not simply concerned with you being married. He is concerned with you being aligned. Alignment matters more than attachment. You can attach yourself to anyone, but that doesn't mean they can walk with you where God is taking you. The one he sends is not just about filling a void. They are about fueling a vision. When the right one comes, you will notice acceleration. Things that were stagnant in your life begin to move. Ideas begin to flow. Dreams begin to expand, because alignment brings acceleration. And this is why you cannot settle for someone who doesn't align with your destiny. God will not introduce you to someone who pulls you backward when he is trying to move you forward. And don't think for a moment that God is only working on you. He is also working on them. You are not the only one in preparation. Just as he is shaping you, pruning you, stretching you, he is also doing the same for the one he has chosen for you. He is teaching them how to love selflessly, how to lead with integrity, how to support without envy, how to nurture without control. He is developing their character so that when you meet, both of you will be ready to walk together without being hindered by immaturity. Because the beauty of God's introductions is that they are never one-sided. They are always mutual. And while he is preparing both of you, he is also orchestrating the setting. God knows how to create the perfect environment for a divine introduction. Just like he placed Adam in a garden before bringing Eve, he will place you in the environment where your destiny connection can flourish. He will not bring the right person into the wrong environment. That is why sometimes he has to relocate you, reposition you, or even remove you from familiar spaces. Because where you are right now may not be where the introduction is meant to happen. But when the time is right, he will position you exactly where you need to be, and he will bring them right into that space at that moment for that season. And you must also understand that God's introductions are not just about romance. They are about revelation. Through the one he has chosen, he reveals dimensions of himself you may not have experienced otherwise. He uses them as a mirror to show you parts of yourself you couldn't see on your own. They may reflect your strengths, affirm your purpose, or even challenge your weaknesses. But in it all, God is revealing something greater, that he is a God who knows the deepest desires of your heart and has the power to meet them in ways that leave you speechless. And while many are chasing love through their own strength, through their own strategy, through their own manipulation, you must resist the temptation to take matters into your own hands. When you try to manufacture what only God can orchestrate, you end up with heartbreak. But when you let him lead, when you allow him to write the story, the introduction will come with a grace that makes it clear this is not man's doing, it is the Lord's. And what he does no one can undo. And do not let fear tell you that you've missed it. Do not let the enemy whisper that it's too late. God is not bound by your age, your past, or your mistakes. He is the redeemer of time. He can restore what was lost, rebuild what was broken, and rewrite what was ruined. If you are still here, he is not finished with your story. The promise still stands. And when he does it, it will feel like restoration and redemption collided all at once. And when God makes the introduction, you will notice something. Your prayers will echo in their actions. Things you whispered to God in private will manifest through the way they love you, the way they honor you, the way they see you, because God remembers every tear you cried, every request you made, every secret hope you carried, and he weaves those desires into the person he has prepared for you, so that when you meet, you will know this is not chance. This is answered prayer, and you must be ready, because sometimes the introduction will not wait for you to feel ready. It will come suddenly in a moment you did not expect, in a season you did not plan for. And when it comes, you cannot allow fear or insecurity to talk you off of it. You cannot sabotage the gift by doubting your worth. That is why God has been building your confidence in him, not in yourself, so that when the blessing arrives, you can embrace it boldly, knowing it is not about your perfection, but about his promise. And when you walk into that covenant, you will see that it is not about perfection, but about partnership. The right one is not flawless, but they are faithful. They may not have all the answers, but they will stand with you while you seek them together. They may not erase every challenge, but they will remind you that you are not facing them alone. That is what makes it divine, not the absence of struggle, but the presence of unity. And in that unity, there will be strength to endure, strength to build, strength to believe, strength to conquer what you could not conquer alone. Because God never designed you to carry destiny by yourself. He always intended for covenant to multiply your capacity. And when he introduces you to the one he ordained, you will realize that the two of you together can accomplish what neither of you could have done alone. And every time you look back, every time you remember the waiting, the disappointments, the heartbreaks, you will be overwhelmed with gratitude. Gratitude that he did not let you settle. Gratitude that he did not let you miss it. Gratitude that he kept you, sustained you, and positioned you for the blessing. Because the introduction is not just about meeting a soulmate. It is about encountering the evidence that God's plan is always better than your own. And you